how did this happen? How did this beautiful design make it from your computer to these soft, silky fibers, to this t-shirt, or this mug? How did all these things make their way out the door and bring so much happiness to your customer? Well, join me behind the scenes of your product's inventory, printing, quality checks, and shipping journey and find out. My name is Leah, and I'm gonna take you along as I get an inside look at where and how your products are made. Let's go. Quality actually begins with the blank products themselves. Our partners are constantly working with vendors to receive only the best products, as well as checking each product before it even makes its way to any printer or oven. Unlike POD stores, print facilities actually do have to hold inventory at all times. And good thing too, otherwise you would end up with a basement full of t-shirts. Just look at the endless amount of t-shirts here. So behind me, you'll see rows and rows of boxes. These are filled with all the stock or the blank items. Each box you'll see has an orange label that is printed as soon as the supply truck brings over the items. And each label has a QR code. This tells the SKU number of each item as well as the location of where it should go on the shelves for max efficiency. This station is where the magic begins. As soon as your customer places an order, it almost instantly hits their system. Here they can ship out a barcode that'll follow the order throughout the entire process, starting with which item to pick, its color, its size. It'll show the proper design that needs to be printed and whether it includes things like a neck label, a branding insert, or even if it's an express order. So once the QR code has been printed, it gets scanned so that the worker can go pick the correct items. Now what's really unique about this facility is that they have the technology that'll tell the system which items exactly have been picked and how many are left so that they can replenish that stock even faster with items that they've already had planned ahead for months. Having plenty of stock on hand is especially important come Q4. Our partners' facilities remain flexible and proactive with months' worth of supply on hand that may be needed at any given time. Any sudden spikes in demand, and we're ready. It's common for facilities to use a scanning system to keep track of inventory and process orders. But of course, different product offerings means the stock will look a little different, like cut and sew items. We're here in the product warehouse where all of the inventory is stored. Behind me, you'll see each of the pieces that are cut separately right now, but eventually they're all going to be sewn together to make your final product. So what happens here, the worker will come with their list. This list here represents one roll or one batch, which we'll see in a little bit. And the worker will actually work their way from the bottom to the top so they can place the items in order on their cart and bring it over to the printing area. Just look at all those pieces. Now, cut and sew items are special too because after printing, the pieces need to be assembled. That means additional inventory of sewing supplies like thread and needles. Take a look at how a pillow is made. So now here, we're gonna sew together our pillows. The first thing that gets sewn is the zipper, and you'll see that the worker is sewing it onto both sides of the pillow. Once the zipper gets sewn on, it gets taken over to the next sewing machine where the worker is simply sewing all the edges together. Once all the edges are sewn together, we turn our pillow inside out and it gets placed onto this rod where the worker can nicely shape the pillow. She'll then grab the actual pillow and we'll stuff it into our pillowcase. You may have noticed that the actual pillow itself looked quite a bit larger than the pillowcase, but this is needed so that the pillow is kind of nice and firm. We'll give it a little beating to kind of fluff it out a little bit, and we have a nice, vibrant pillow. In other facilities, however, some products need to be assembled before printing, such as canvases and framed prints. Let's see how canvases are made first. We're at the very beginning of premium gallery wraps or canvases, and this is where they keep all the inventory. Behind me is where they keep the fronts of the canvases, and next to me you'll see a stack of the backs. And we'll see soon how the tape is attached and the hanging hardware. Here we're applying tape to the raw backing so that eventually the front and backs of the canvases can come together. Once the backing has been taped, it comes over here where it gets fed into the machine that uses pressure to adhere our hanging hardware. So once our backs have been created, we can now get to our fronts. What happens here is the first step is that glue gets applied, a very thin layer, through what they call a hot melt, and it uses rollers to apply this layer of glue. On the other side of the machine, another worker will pull out this front and place it on a rack for drying. Frame prints are assembled in a similar fashion, except this time we've got nails instead of glue.
This is where frame poster prints begins with the actual frame itself. The first step is to see what size and color is needed so that the operator can cut the right size.
Eventually, our back, front, and printed image come together to create a stunning piece of wall decor.
Wow, what an amazing experience. Doesn't it make you want to create some wall decor?
Now that we know where all of our stuff comes from, in the next video, we're gonna show you how we get your design onto your chosen product.